Thank you, President Peterson. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak with you to open the 2025 session of the Arizona Senate. Thank you so much for asking me to be a part of this special day, and thank you for the very kind introduction. I'd like to share with you a few things that you may not know about the Cardinals and my family history. We are the oldest team in the National Football League. We were founded in 1898, a full 14 years before Arizona became a state. And we are one of two founding members of the National Football League, which was formed in 1920. My grandfather, Charles Bidwell, purchased the team during the Great Depression, and when my grandfather passed away a few years later, my grandmother, Violet, became the first female owner of a sports team in the world. She ran the team for 15 years until she passed. Before we started calling it a Super Bowl, she won an NFL championship and competed in another. She helped usher in the first NFL television contract in 1960 and negotiated the foundational economic elements of what made the NFL the #1 sport in America. She was a shrewd businesswoman who thrived in an industry that was, other than her, exclusively male. Today, there are four of us who are third-generation owners in the NFL. John Mara of the Giants, Art Rooney with the Steelers, and George McCaskey with the Chicago Bears. All of our grandfathers are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We see ourselves as more than owners, but as stewards. Stewards of the game of football, the National Football League, and our individual franchises. We talk often about the importance of the future of football and how our decisions will affect the game in the decades to come. We all take a league-first approach. We make our decisions on what's best for the league, not what is best for our individual franchises. It's the way our fathers, our grandfathers, and Violet made decisions. A perfect example is what's took place last week and taking place tonight with the relocation of the Viking-Rams wild card game at State Farm Stadium. While they're rivals on the field, they're partners off the field. And if we can help them out in their time of need, we eagerly welcome that opportunity. Today, I love the direction the Cardinals are headed, both on the field and as an organization. I believe there's much success ahead of us, and our head coach, Jonathan Gannon, has two rules I want to tell you about. One is team, and two is you. Pretty simple. He always wants the players and the coaches to put the team first, similar to how at the owner level my NFL peers and I always put the game and the league first. I know you feel the same way about our state. We are now the 14th most populated state in the United States, and soon, in just a matter of years, will be the 13th most populated state. We're no longer a teenager. We're big time now. We're grown up, and the eyes of the country are upon us. We need public policy to match our future. Your positions and the decisions you make are critical to our future success. For the Cardinals in the offseason and training camp, every one of our 90 players is competing with each other to make the final roster, the 53-man roster. But once they've made the team, that part's over, and it's time to come together as a team, and everything gets real when we get into the regular season and we're playing together. They're not competing against each other. We're competing against the 31 other teams in the NFL. We're competing to win games, win the division, and consistently deliver a product, both on and off the field, that our community and our fans can be proud of. I look around this room today and know that there's tremendous competition for every one of the seats that you're in. Last year's campaigns are now over. They're complete. You've all competed and won your seats. Congratulations to each and every one of you. It's tough work. Each of you has earned the privilege to be one of these 30 positions and the right to represent our state, making important policy decisions. You've made the team, Team Arizona. Now that the campaign competition's over, it's time to come together, switch from politics and elections to policy making and making Arizona better than the rest of the United States. You're no longer competing against each other. As stewards of Arizona's future, your challenge is now keeping your eyes on competing with the 49 other states and the international markets that compete with us as well. Sometimes in the thick of the legislative session, I know it's hard to do, but it will be important you keep your focus on what's best for Arizona. Part of your challenge is to continue to create an optimal business climate that builds our future economy with world-class industries that have high-paying jobs fueled by a highly productive workforce. That means improving our education system to prepare Arizona's youth to be part of that workforce and thoughtfully protecting our natural resources, especially water. We also need to continue to plan for funding future infrastructure needs and take care of the other important issues that are facing our state government, like public safety, border security, housing, and healthcare. But one particular area of focus that the business community and I would like you to consider is regulatory reform. Too often, permitting, governmental approvals, and red tape are slowing down our economy and costing the state's budget a lot of money. Businesses want a thorough review, but the approval process needs to be faster. 20 years ago, government decisions were made and they took just a few weeks. Today, it's months and sometimes years to get basic approvals to move things forward. This is happening at the local, county, and state levels. The administrative timeline has to become more efficient for Arizona to compete. Arizona wins business relocation and expansion competition in large parts with the decisions that are made in this chamber and across in the House. I know. I've been on the front line with governors from both parties fighting for those projects over the last 3 decades. Arizona wins projects because we have low taxes, modernized regulations, and are an attractive place to live. It wasn't always like this. 20 years ago, our state struggled to get companies to expand to Arizona. We got call centers and low-paying jobs, but those projects weren't good for Arizona and did not require a sophisticated workforce. Because of policy decision this chamber and the House made beginning about 15 years ago, all that changed, and Arizona began modernizing its tax code, our regulations, and other levels of state government that allowed us to become an attractive place to do business. But because of some of that bureaucratic creep, those timelines to get those approvals have taken more time, hence the suggestion that you look at regulatory reform. Our state's economy has grown because of our policies, and it's propelled our state budget forward with new and recurring revenues from those businesses and their significant indirect spending. We have flourished, and the results are all around us. We cannot rest on our laurels, though. Other states are doing the same and see Arizona as competition. They are absolutely coming after us. I'm co-chairman of the ACA. I know Dr. Crow is here, and he would totally agree with me. There are all these big projects that we're chasing, and there are 4 or 5 states that are going head-to-head with Arizona, and they see us. There's a little bit of a target on us, so it's up to us to stay ahead of it. Unlike an NFL team, who have 17 opportunities to compete throughout a regular season, Arizona's game days are 365 days a year. A football team is filled with players from different backgrounds. They come from the South, the West, the East, the North, inner city, rural. But these people come together in different backgrounds in pursuit of a common goal: success on the football field. Similarly, this chamber is filled with senators from different backgrounds, different parts of the state, different constituents, and different issues affecting your areas. I know you'll come together in pursuit of success for the future of Arizona. Yes, sometimes there's spirited discussions, respectful debate that challenges ideas. It happens in the huddle, on the sideline, and even in owners' meetings at the NFL. But that's completely healthy and a necessary part of the process coming together for a common set of goals, as long as the president says, and former U.S. Supreme Court Justice from Arizona who sat in this chambers, Sandra Day O'Connor, would say, you do it with civility. We can debate and have a healthy debate around our ideas. Let's keep it civil. Because what we want all at the end of this process is to win. Win for our fans and win for our constituents of all your districts, and have wins for Arizona, the future of Arizona. I am incredibly grateful to each and every one of you for your role that you play and the hard work you put in while serving Arizona and serving Arizonans. I know it's sometimes a thankless job. I know that, and I appreciate that. But what you all go through on some days, it can be a lonely place. But that's what comes with leadership, both in the public sector and in the private sector. Doing right, even though sometimes when your decisions may not be popular. My father taught me that it is always a good time to do the right thing. What I say to you, and on behalf of the business community, is thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for the decision you made to serve. We truly appreciate what you do. And I'll close by thanking President Peterson for the opportunity to be with you this morning and wish you great success in the weeks and months ahead. God bless America, and God bless Arizona. Thank you.